Tie them up with snakes. That's what I say.
you.
Why use rope? One makes bricks.
Builders and butchers. One makes bricks, one makes beef. Beef. One, two, beef. Welcome to the last podcast on the left, ladies and gentlemen. The spookiest podcast you ever penetrate your brain.
It's too spooky. You got to shut off the podcast.
Don't listen now. Don't listen now.
Don't listen because you're going to get scared from the podcast.
Your left hand's on fire. Oh, right, you blew it out and everything's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. Please continue listening to the podcast.
I'm Ben Kissel, joined as always with the very luscious and beautiful Marcus Parks.
Yeah.
And my favorite young boy, Henry Zabrowski.
Heil me.
Indeed. A little Hitler in his own right.
I'm a chubby Hitler. That's
And
what
we
they call
are-
me all the time.
Chubby hits.
Chubby hits.
Big old chubby Hitler. I would kill the Jews, but I am exhausted.
Oh, my God. I was going to kill the Jews, but then I watched all this South Park.
I said, screw das Jews, but then I said, oh, das Hoagie?
It's so funny how the fat voice immediately goes to Wisconsin.
Das Hoagie? It's a good fat sound, and I am happy as hell to be here this Monday, May 23rd, 2 days after the apocalypse.
After the apocalypse.
Good,
Sure,
we'll make eye contact.
This is fine.
Yeah.
So I will say, and so today on that theme, we are talking about all end-of-the-world ideas, end-of-the-world cults, and end-of-the-world predictions. We just had our recent bust, the most recent bust of our lifetime, 2012, Harold Camping's FamilyRadio.com. You can check that out. They've been preaching the end of the world, and I must say Saturday was a good day for me. I was at a wedding with Henry Zabrowski.
We were really enjoying ourselves the entire time.
Watching Love Bloom.
I took the day off. I had a Law & Order SVU marathon. It was amazing.
Wonderful.
Sounds like a great day.
Is that how you would have spent your last day alive?
Well, maybe.
Technically you
it's
did.
It's a good show.
Speaking
it's
of
a really good show.
My favorite part about the rapture, of course, not being right whatsoever, is that picture of the guy who spent $150,000 putting up the ads all over the world, and that picture of him in Times Square just looking at his watch, being like, what's going on here?
And then around 10 p.m., you just see him at a TGI Fridays over in Midtown, just
like,
sucking down hurricanes and chicken wings.
If I'm going to be alive, I'm going to have some of these jalapeno poppers.
I mean, hey, if the world's not ending, I don't care about my heart. Anyway, let's go. I will say, you mentioned television. You watch nothing but CSI. Harold Camping, the fellow who started this unbelievable, terrible idea.
What an idiot.
Beautiful mathematic calculations. He said on the day of the rapture, he planned on watching television just to see the destruction.
Oh, that's so fun of him. That's so nice. Certainly
Yeah.
not spending with his family or
I don't
whatever
think he
else.
has family. A radio host in his 80s is a lonely beaver in a woodless pond, as we always like to say here on the old show. I do love the fact he's like, yes, the Lord is going to destroy the earth, earthquakes and hurricanes about, but he's not going to mess with my Verizon triple play package. There is no way. He respects the contract. And I have a 4-year contract, and I'm still getting Showtime free for 3 months. So, Lord, spare my Vizio television, please.
At the same time, if the rapture did happen, wouldn't it be so wonderful to not have any of those pricks on the earth anymore?
Well, the thing is, yeah, he said he went on to say only 200 million people will be saved, and those left behind will die in the earthquakes, which,
Technically we will eventually.
you never know how you're going to die. We might go Macho Man Randy Savage style, just
Talk
boom,
about
right into a tree.
The most insane death possible. Heart attack into triple, flip, car crash into
flip.
a tree. Yeah.
Into a tree. And that's the thing about Macho Man. The Lord tried to kill him with the heart attack, and he said, fuck you, Lord.
Yeah.
I am slapping into a Slim Jim.
We're doing it this way. Oh, yeah.
I just realized he's a spokesperson for Slim Jims, which are very bad for your heart. It's kind of like when the Marlboro Man died of lung cancer.
Yeah.
So he's having the heart attack. He kicks out. He sees the lights. He 1, 2, and that ref is going down. He's an inch away from the mat. Boom! I'm back. 2, yeah. 2. JR's going crazy in the booth. I think it was 3. I think it was the 3. The king is like, no, I saw it. It was 2. He's alive. And then sure enough,
we should take a moment of silence to celebrate a wonderful life. Did you already do that on
We gave it to him on the round table, but hell, there's never enough moments of silence for the Macho Man. And that was
That's fine. That's good.
That was nice. Overall, he's got a total of a second, which, hell, if you can stop us from talking for over almost a second,
that's huge.
You lived an amazing life.
You had a lot of respect coming from us.
That was the greatest honor of all time. I mean, that's the thing. So Macho Man died the Friday of May 20th, meaning he just missed the rapture. Had he died on May 21st, I might have believed this camping fella.
Yeah.
You know, if I'd be like, oh yeah, the Lord came down and I think he only took one person. But that's the guy that I would want to party with for the rest of eternity. I mean, he's a beautiful man, and maybe the Lord is picking up a little bit of wrestling moves up there in the heavens. Maybe it's like a big time for pro wrestling up there, and he needs to get more entertainment for his, minions and angels. They're a little bit bored with their monotony and all these backgammon.
Yeah, I know,
backgammon is the only thing they
absolutely.
show on TV.
They
up
want
there.
more of a carnival of physical delights of Randy Macho Man Savage jumping off of clouds
Absolutely. You know,
to power bombs and various other wrestling
But that's
maneuvers that I'm not sure of. I'm just burping my way through this. I'm not feeling good.
no, you look terrible.
I feel like shit.
No, don't say that.
I have so much cheese in my system from Wisconsin. I'm going to die.
Yeah, I feel like after the Wisconsin trip, I've been going through mini strokes. About 4 or 5 of them.
This is the thing. You know, the Earth is eventually going to end. It will end. You know, they say that the Earth, we have, about 1 billion years left before the sun explodes and kills everything in our solar system.
Good amount of
and
time.
then probably 500 million years before that, all life on Earth will be at least be dead.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can believe that humans are going to try their damnedest to make sure that we don't extinguish ourselves. Basically, you want to look at someone like Ray Kurzweil believes that eventually we'll create computers that are smart enough to improve themselves and that they will get us off the planet Earth to a place where we can live forever, eventually turning whole planets into computers, and eventually we'll all be parts of nanomachines and cloud. So we'd live in a cloud-like formation.
So if I'm like just a computer, like I could just like think about porno and like it'll be like I'm watching it.
You would be the girl getting fucked and then be the dude fucking you.
Oh my God.
That's going to happen.
That is incredible.
And Ray Kurzweil thinks it's going to happen by 2045.
Well, I mean, I don't know if 2045, that seems like it's coming up and that
It's
might be in
pretty
our
soon.
lifetime.
We can survive till then. We definitely can.
So we'll be, returning here to the podcast.
And that's one
And,
way
we'll be
to
talking about
possibly beat the end of times. But they're going to come eventually. Everything dies.
Well, they have to. I mean, I will say this May 21st thing, it would be very funny because you figure hundreds of thousands of people die every day. Right?
Yeah.
So if one of these guys, like let's say the fellow who paid $140,000, which is his life savings, which means he did not save his money very well, because frankly, I don't think that's a lot of cash. But I'm only one of the older people who
How much
thinks
money
that.
do you have right now in the bank account?
Yeah, but I'm not 60. By the time I'm 60, I expect to have a little bit more than 140 grand in the bank. Are you kidding me?
I don't know.
I want to buy a car for 140 grand on a whim.
Absolutely. That'll be a lot of fun.
I'm going to have at least a couple million to have
You'll
all
be
of my-
buried in a Ferrari.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun. Just buy the Ferrari just to fucking shoot your brains out
In
while
it.
sitting in the front seat
Yeah.
and then get buried in it.
Why not, man?
That's what I'm doing. I'm 90.
Ferrari coffin, I'll take it. And then hopefully you can get one of those gals with you, and you kill her too, and she had such large fake bosoms, the only thing they're going to find if they excavate is 2 big silicone pads. And they're like, you know what, this guy did it right? He had a beautiful car, he had a beautiful wife. And I'll say, that's not my wife, that's my girlfriend. My wife is alive.
You see, the thing about they also said about Harold Camping is that now that it didn't happen, he said that no, actually, what May 21st was a sort of silent judging by God on Earth.
Just more
And
of an inquisitive,
Yeah, he had a prime investigation on Earth and decided that we were guilty, and that the actual new end of times is October 21st.
Wait.
No, I don't think that he came out with a new date because
Didn't he just say that?
I heard something about October 21st, but
I thought I just read that, which is my father's birthday.
Huh. Good for
Strange.
him.
Oh, well.
Yeah, the end of times will be Libra.
Oh, you never knew, huh? But I mean, nonetheless, so you figure thousands of people did die on May 21st, and if it was let's say it was the perverted uncle of the guy who spent $140,000, the uncle was a bit of a touchy of a boys.
Mm-hmm.
He liked to grab on the old, the small.
He was a friendly uncle.
He was, you know what?
Hands-on.
A hands-on uncle.
Hands-on parent. That's what I like to call him.
Real touchy, Pete. I will say, uncles are never up to any good.
No.
Why is that?
I don't know. All of my uncles were racist.
Isn't that bizarre?
Just racist and mean and just lots of just bad kids.
Terrible kids. So you figure that person dies on the day that the Lord is supposed to be coming back in your insane brain, and you're like, I just did it all wrong.
The thing is,
I should have been like Uncle Touchy Petey. I had no idea I was supposed to be molesting children.
But the rapture wasn't just people dying. The rapture was people floating into the air to heaven. I mean, It's
well,
stupid.
I think doesn't their
It's
their
just
body
not gonna
dies though when their
happen.
soul goes up? Doesn't the body stay on there? Like after, I will say,
No. The body and the soul go up. It's supposed to be.
You disappear.
Yeah, you just disappear.
And your
I don't
clothes
know. Like, you've
supposed to
seen
like
those,
land on the ground like neatly folded or something like that.
Yeah.
Like Jesus comes and folds your clothes like he's some kind of Spanish maid.
I don't. That's
Have y'all
not my
seen that?
Jesus.
Have y'all seen that bumper sticker? Like this car will be empty in the event
unmanned,
of
yeah.
unmanned in event of rapture.
Oh my
So
goodness,
stupid.
that is.
The one thing that is real is 2012. What's going to happen in December 21st, 2012? That is
Tell me
something
more.
that is definitely going to happen. It's going to happen.
So this is based upon the Mayan calendar, correct?
So-
just because the Mayan dude that was enslaved and forced to chisel the calendar
got
finally-
to 2012 and was
just
like,
like,
I have no fingers.
Right. I have no fingers. I'm etching everything with my teeth. And then he died just like Macho Man Randy Savage with a major heart attack after working too hard to entertain the people of the time.
2012, a lot of people believe that it's going to be the end of the world because of the end of the long-term Mayan calendar. And there's also like many people will say like it's not necessarily the end of the calendar as a whole. It's just the end of that long term, and it's going to start another long term.
Isn't it the age of maize is what we're in right now? Isn't that it?
I don't know. I love corn though.
Yeah.
I'm up to my eyeballs in it. But there's like all sorts of different
So it's the
theories.
end of the world as we know it.
That's and I think that's the true phrase there. That is, it's like I don't know if it's going to necessarily be the end of the world, or some people say it'll be like earthquakes and super tornadoes and all
Right.
that stuff will happen. And then there's also a sort of idea that it's going to be a psychic change. That it's
So
going
what
to be
does
the
that
end
mean?
of a sort of worldview, and that it'll either be
Are we
Maybe
talking communism here?
I'm just in a new agey explanation. It's like either a change in mindset, like something will either happen that change the way people look at the Earth and our role in the universe. It's like there's a lot of people point to the fact that will be when aliens reveal themselves
A
to
lot of
us.
people come with this aliens thing.
Yeah, and then or that's another thing people say that will be the first time that something happens in artificial intelligence that's really huge. Is that towards the end of 2012, like we'll make some huge breakthrough, and like right now, there various private companies are working on like reverse engineering the brain, right? Where they're taking the brain and they're trying to figure out how to build an actual physical model of the brain on a nano like molecular level, in order to make a artificial intelligence that will actually use the same things that we use in our brains, right? And there's a lot of people
Just
talking
like
about how
just booze. It just runs on booze and
just
weed.
booze and just and the things it was punished by for its mother and father. It's craving of attention, need for validation.
Yeah.
But the not like me.
No,
I'm
Henry-
feeling good.
He is not crying right now, ladies and gentlemen. Henry's in the game.
There are no tears streaming down my face.
No, getting caught in your
Ice-
little beard.
Yeah, there's nothing happening. Like my beard is a sort of cobweb for sorrowful tears.
Yeah.
And they're like little flies, and the spider that is my tongue will come and eat my sorrowful tears.
Of course it does.
Absolutely. But
Well,
there are
you look
people,
great.
There are
I
people
follow you.
say that that by the end of 2012, it's where a lot of these projects are supposed to end, where they're starting to think that just in terms of the science world, it will have some sort of working model of a human brain by the end of next year, and that eventually the software will catch up to it so that it can use those neural connections to think just like we do.
I feel like Japan already created this.
They could.
Now Japan, they're more of a movement type stuff. Like that's what it's more based on, like Asimov.
Oh, like that
and
new
all
Connect and everything.
Yeah, stuff like that. That's what they're all about.
There was
Yeah.
that one situation I remember about a year ago where they made that machine and it loved too much and it nearly killed the poor boy.
I love
the
that thing.
scientist fella who was in there. And the whole point was that the robot would hug and say, "I love you."
I think what they said, I think in the end, though, I think it turned out to be fake.
Oh, it was a fake
I
story?
think that was fake. It was a fun story.
Well, hell, edit out the fact that he said it was fake. So in Japan, I love you.
I love you.
you. And he's just squeezing the hell out of this poor Japanese scientist.
We are like those machines that love too much.
That is the thing. So, I mean, I think, yeah, there's a lot of aliens from outer space talk, a lot of, this machine talks, but don't you think it's more reasonable that the end of the world is going to be caused by just a stupid war, and we're going to end up, some country is going to throw a nuke, or it's going to be maybe not even throw a nuke, we're going to think that they did so. They're going to hit their nukes, and we're going to hit our nukes. Next thing you know, India's hitting their nukes. Pakistan's hitting their nukes. Fucking, Iran's going to have them. They're hitting their nukes. And I just feel like we are going to cause the end of the world in the lamest, most pathetic way, which is just going to be a nuclear holocaust, which is the most obvious way to do it, which is sad.
The one thing that is stuck with me since I was a kid, as far as the end of the world goes, The Stand.
Oh, the
Yeah.
stand.
Which was just recently,
Super virus, yeah.
Yeah, a super virus type thing. Ever since I was a kid, that's always what I
So
thought.
go through the stand, because I barely remember that movie.
It's kind of stupid.
It's so stupid.
I loved it as a kid,
Yeah.
and then I recently rewatched the miniseries, and it's just so retarded.
It is.
It's like a demon sort of creature helps lead this. Super virus happens. It's unleashed out of a super top secret military base.
Okay.
It kills the majority of humankind, and then it's about the various people who come up out of it. And one is led by a very kindly psychic black lady who teaches all of them being good. And then there's
Randall
why
Flagg,
is
and
it-
then
by
there's
the way-
Randall Flagg who wears a Canadian tuxedo all the time.
All the
Well, I
time.
do like that, but why is it in these post-apocalyptic movies, and similar with The Matrix, it's always a black woman that is just like saving everybody's lives, being the
Well,
nice.
she's psychic.
It's a trope. And
Yeah.
they call it the magical Negro trope.
It's like Bagger Vance.
That's seriously what it's called. Yeah.
Well, I will say I have met many black women in my life, and none of them have been fucking nice to me. So,
Well, maybe
I am
that's
not
just your
gonna-
attitude. Maybe that's just
Maybe
your
it is.
face.
No, I'm just joking.
You got a
I'll round about
crooked
that,
smile.
obviously. But I've never once met one who is like a sage or like some sort of. The only time you meet anyone, it's like they're yelling at you on the street to go into one of these psychic homes, and it's like I don't have that kind of time right now, nor the money. Your child is screaming behind you.
We should go to
Tend
a
him.
psychic. We should go to a psychic.
We are
going
going to go to a psychic on one of these
I'd
shows
love that.
very soon.
yeah.
Yeah.
My first roommate here in the city was a 55-year-old black woman named Melva.
Was Melva a psychic? Did she have any powers whatsoever?
No, she used to just tell me, and she used to just make lentil soup and tell me about all the time she was molested whenever she was growing up.
That's a fun roommate.
Yeah,
Well,
she,
I guess she has wisdom beyond her years to some degree.
But
I don't
she
know.
also bought the Xbox, so
yeah.
that's so you put up with her. You put up
Yeah.
with those stories.
And she just loved Ugly Betty.
Well, who
Yeah.
doesn't? On the counter defense, I've never seen somebody really tough wearing a Canadian tuxedo either.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
a lot of people wearing this full denim getup in these films just come across as one of the most badass dudes on the planet.
'Cause the thing is,
And
it's
they,
like-
they all tend to be pumping gas in real life.
For
Yeah.
Billy Zane too, you're going to have to make a custom-made smaller version of them because they only normally come in extra large.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just on this website here, all about the end of the world, and this is number 9 possibilities. Others believe that Planet X, Nibiru.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard about this? 2/3 the world's size will pass through our solar system around 2012, causing the polar axis to shift the Earth.
It's not real.
It's possible, though.
No,
A
I just read a
process-
thing.
No, go on.
No, you continue reading how it's going to destroy us.
A process, if it actually does happen, which, hey, let's just establish the fact this is happening.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good.
This
okay.
is certainly going to
I'm down
happen.
for it.
That would apparently take up 5,000 years. So we got some time.
Okay.
So that's so nice. So in the first glance, Nibiru, Planet X, does not look like it'll be fulfilling any end-of-the-day world predictions for the 2012, which I think completely makes sense because, hell, we got a whole bunch of years left.
At the same time, I was also reading on NASA's website today because they kind of put out a Q&A sort of thing after all the rapture scare, basically just answering questions about the end of the world, and they bring up Nibiru, and they're just like, Nibiru doesn't exist. We've never read about it. It's just like, NASA openly has said, it's like, if anything was going to come into our solar system to destroy us over the next next year, because it's a year and a half until when the supposed end of the Mayan calendar happens, it's like they'd know about it. They
Well,
would know about it.
I suppose so. I mean, I'm not going to be maxing out my credit cards right now, but then again, maybe I should.
But there
I mean,
was a
you want-
millisecond on Saturday when I looked at my cell phone and was like, who should I text?
Right.
Send out your last text.
I mean, who are you texting for your last text?
Except there was this weird scare on my parents' ranch. There's in Texas right now. Texas is on fire. Has been for a good few months.
And I just read Joplin, I think it's Missouri. They
Joplin,
said a
Missouri,
huge
yeah.
tornado as well.
Things are
Devastation
weird,
over
yeah.
there.
They say 75% of the city is gone, and that's
Whoa.
that's a town of like 120,000 people.
Wow.
It's not small, but on the ranch, there's been all these wildfires everywhere, and so we've got these little streams running through. And one of our hands, Ed was like driving around, and he saw one of these streams, and the water was just running black. like completely and totally like tar black.
Wow.
And he was like kind of scared, like called up my mom. He's like, Billy, you got to come out and see this. and my mom came out and she's like, oh, hell, Ed, that's just from the fucking fires up there. It's just soot. God damn.
I wish I had your parents' problems, to be honest with you. It's soot, Ed. We told you it's soot.
They're pretty fun problems.
They're amazing. I mean, certainly not the problems that these poor bastards who thought the world was going to end on Saturday have right now.
Oh, they've got
how do you
lot
get
of
your
problems.
life back together?
I mean,
I don't
they're
believe
talking about people who, like, they interviewed people who are, they quit their jobs and went across country. People
So
who,
stupid.
people who timed like their money to run out on Saturday.
This is the thing. I saw one guy. One guy said he brought his family and his wife in an RV to the Grand Canyon, maxed out all of their credit cards, which that's not a way to go out. That's not a good motivation. And they got to the Grand Canyon. He said, well, at the very least, I got to see the country.
Yeah.
That's what he said. And I was like, well, at least he sees the bright side.
On the bright side of life.
Kill yourself. That man just killed himself, by the way. So it was the end of the world for him.
I don't believe that it's the end times. You know what I mean? I don't
It's not
believe that the end times are coming. But there is definitely, I'm going to be ooky spooky, and I do believe that something's going on. I think it's just in terms of us destroying the earth slowly is starting to catch up, and we're starting to see the actual changes happen to our weather and various things that are...
It has been the worst weather I've ever experienced in New York City. Granted, it's only 5 years I've been here, but I'm just like, let's get a sun. Do we still have one?
Man,
it's
we've
just
been, what,
these-
a
Prove
week,
yourself,
a week
son.
and a half without the sun?
Yeah, but there's just extreme weather all over the place. You could see how it's feeding these people to believe that the rapture is coming because the sort of extreme things are happening
Oh,
in an
of
environment
course.
that are like making people react, and because people are dumb and they automatically assume that it's like God doing it for vengeance. And
Well, that's
not,
the thunder god.
Yeah.
bringing the thunder. No, I mean that's the thing. I mean it totally makes sense. I like the idea. I wish that there was a god making all of the weather really terrible, because then we could appease this stupid bastard and get like amazing weather all the time.
Absolutely.
And you know for a fact it's not real, because like Florida has amazing weather.
Yeah.
And it's like the people in Florida, they're terrible people. And they just curse and they drink and they're always spitting. They're like camels over there. I just know this about them.
Yeah.
And the gays, Fort Lauderdale has a gay mayor. Still every day, sunny, bright.
Yeah.
Lizards are having a good time.
No, lizards just have sex in the sun all day.
The devilish snake is like, oh, this is the greatest place I could ever shed my skin. So
Yeah.
that's why there's proof there is no God, because you would think then Alaska, they all pretend to be holier than thou. They love the Lord. They like to pray to him. That worst weather on earth.
Yeah, and the Bible Belt right now is getting, like we said, ripped apart by fucking tornadoes.
But that's
like,
that
left
should be-
and right.
Isn't that proof that you're not praying to anything?
Yeah.
If there's a tornado that rips through your house.
Yeah,
But
they
they also
get
believe-
tornadoes, and here in the Denison in New York City, we get gloomy weather for a week, and that's it.
They also it affirms their mindset though at the same time when they look, because they also are so narcissistic and like believing that it's like a show being put on for them.
Right.
That like God is trying to show them a sign by destroying them as being like, when you're the chosen people, like according to Missouri, it's like various places where it's like, when you're the chosen people of a specific God, he's going to alternately love you and then then destroy you just to show you that he's around.
Well, that's the thing,
You know?
the ego on these people. To imagine that you can call the end of the world. I mean, they think of themselves as many little gods.
Yeah.
Many little Trojan lords
Absolutely,
out there
because
spreading the
how
word.
much power did that give Harold Camping
Oh,
to tell
he
everybody
made
that he knew when the end was?
$72 million. That's
What?
the
his
business.
That's his net worth.
$72 million. This old bastard. It's just amazing. He's a radio DJ. Him and Glenn Beck. Who would have thought radio DJs are going to be the end of the world?
Yeah.
You know, it's like these are the only two
He's
people
the
calling
end of the
for it.
world.
They
Yeah.
are it.
You're the ones. You're going to make it. Because it's like, because people look at America and what are the voices they hear? What are the first things they'll see? It's just like they see Glenn Beck, they see Rush Limbaugh. When they think of America, they think of these things. And then we go to a place like Greece and we take off our shirts and they see our pasty folds and they're just like, that's disgusting. America is awful. It's all like that. That's why I don't go to Europe. I don't go to these other places. I stay right here.
Christ, you ought to be from Texas and try to talk to those people. They don't want to hear anything I have to say.
Of course not. You don't want to be a chubby little redhead. Chubby little redhead. I got no political currency in Europe.
I mean, I don't know, man.
You tell me.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We should go together.
Damn rock. Me and you?
Me and you go to tag team Europe together.
That'll start a whole nother end of the world cult they'll have over there.
Short
and then
fat.
the tall man came with the short fat man. You know what that means.
Well,
With
you
a-
guys are just like the giant and the midget on Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's really nice.
I have no idea what I was even going to say before you went on this huge diatribe about going over to Greece. I don't want to go to Greece.
I didn't say that we
And
need
you
to go to
would-
Greece.
If you went to Greece, they would love you.
That's true.
Everyone's hairy
I have the
over
same
there.
hair pattern as most Greek men, but it's
exactly.
not thick and coarse and black. You know, it's just sort of tawny red. And that's just not attractive.
It isn't, but you are attractive because of your personality and your
Yeah,
overall
thank you.
worldview, and that's why we do radio mostly.
It's true.
Because it's like when we're in public, gross. That's the guy's a little bit gross.
This way we can just filter our voices and not, you don't get the pair of the face and the voice. You just get to hear the sultry tones of our voices.
That's right.
And me, I've got creepy eyes.
That's true.
Well, you have beautiful eyes. You get laid all the time. By the way, listeners of this show, I want you to know Marcus Parks pulls down more tail than goddamn
A monkey's mother.
a monkey's mother. Thank you, Henry. I mean, that guy is sniffing more butts than a dog at a park. I mean,
At a butt factory.
A butt factory. Thank you, Henry. That man is.
I'm doing good
literally-
over here.
Yeah, you are.
This is the end times. We are done.
That's the whole thing. I will say, it is funny. There's an Aztec mythology about the end times. There's a Jewish mythology about the end times. Egyptian mythology about the end times.
Human beings like to put order on things that are just technically supposed to be chaos. People
Right.
want to see a storyline. They want to see a beginning, and then it ramps up to a very specific ending, and it's just not going to be that way. We don't know how it's going to end.
I will say, my favorite so far is the Norse mythology. This is the
the Norse mythology. Fucking Fenrir the wolf.
yes. Before the end of the world, 3 winters without summers in between so basically Wisconsin or Alaska. They can think about this every day. Will happen in Midgard.
when is that? Is that
Midgard is, by the way, the Norse name for the Norse name for Earth.
Earth.
Oh, okay. I thought
Fantastic.
that was like a month.
No, Midgard.
Oh, that's us here.
There we go.
We're on Midgard right now.
And order will be lost in the human world. Fathers will fight their sons, which, hey, that happens every single day.
Yeah.
Have you even seen General Hospital?
Absolutely.
It happens all the time. Doctors fighting nurses. Chaos everywhere.
Chaos reigns. Siblings will commit incest, which is like, I hope I have a pretty sister. Mothers will seduce their children. Well,
Weird.
this is actually
That
all
is
working
very
out for me
strange,
pretty well at this
Yeah,
point.
you love your family.
Well, I like my mom. Although, I will say this. She is a believer, by the way, of the May 21st.
Oh, yeah. How did your mom react to
My
the
mom
rapture not
reacted
happening?
by saying, I said, Mom, do you believe in this myth? And she said, oh, well, no, I mean, it's fun.
Oh, okay.
It's fun.
Okay. Like how we look at the movie Blues Brothers?
Yeah.
That's how she looked at
It's
the
like, I would
rapture?
love to go and have a 72-car pileup with a bunch of police
Yeah,
cars.
that's a fun idea. Yeah.
Would be fun, yeah. No, but and my mother fully believes. She has been
Oh, yeah.
planning since I was a small child for the end of the world, which is not a good motivation for your child to grow up in. Because I'm like, my actions have no ramifications. The world's going to end anyway. Next
Let's
thing you know,
burn it
I've
and
murdered
turn it.
8 people at a Shopko, and I'm sitting in prison for the rest of my fucking life. Brothers will tear at each other's hearts, which
That's
just
sad.
mean. They just say mean things to each other. And Midgar will be consumed by war. It gets interesting here. The wolf's skull in Haiti will swallow the sun and moon.
All right.
Yeah.
That's fucking sweet.
Those are some big wolves.
Absolutely.
Fenrir is also a name of the.
This is it. And the great wolf Fenris.
Fenris?
Fenrir.
Fenrir?
Oh,
Fenrir.
that's it. Son of Loki, the trickster god.
Oh, yeah.
He's
That's
gonna.
Dak Shepard.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be a good one. That'd be a good Loki. If Loki was real, make him be Dak Shepard, like on Punk'd.
right.
Yeah, so it's like he's like an Ashton Kutcher type,
Right.
wearing a trucker hat to the side, lanky,
Cool.
just fun.
taking over for Charlie Sheen on 2.5 Men. Check it on CBS starting this summer.
The end times.
And of course, so this Loki the Trickster guy is going to run loose and kill Odin, the All-Father, who steps in forth to fight him. Odin's son Vidar. By the way, all these people sound like they were related to Osama bin Laden. Odin's son Vidar will avenge Odin by tearing Fenris apart. Then Thor will battle the Midgard serpent, which is fucking awesome.
That's kind of sweet.
The Midgard serpent is the serpent that lives underneath the ocean that will one day be released.
Oh, they call that the Midgard serpent?
The Midgard serpent.
Oh,
yeah.
I always just called that
Cthulhu.
Tommy Pants.
Tommy Pants. He lives under the ocean.
You know Tommy Pants, the immeasurably large snake that's going to bring the end times? Yeah.
Why do they call him Tommy Pants? Oh, he wears pants.
He wears pants. It's good. It's just a nickname.
He's
Just-
a pant snake.
Yeah, just one leg. Just a one-legged pant.
It's just more like a sleeve. He's like a sleeve you can put a belt on.
Well, why don't they call him Tommy the Sleeve?
Tommy Pants. That's what we've
Tommy
always
Pants.
called him.
All right, maybe they're making a good point. So Midgard serpent, and they slay him, but being slain himself, the serpent's venomous fumes will fuck up everything.
This is really specific.
I love it. Well, this is my favorite one I've ever read. Many gods as well
There's
as
more details that are just awesome. I'll get to them in a second.
yeah, many gods as well as all men and all women save two. So I guess it's just two people who live. And this is Lif and Liftharzar. Which
That's the name of the people that are going to live?
that's kind of like your parents, Bill and Billy, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Marry somebody with a different name than you. You weird wanted to feel like you're masturbating when you're having sex with your partner person. Oh, Billy, have sex with me, and that's him masturbating. But you never know.
Yeah. Well, I
Who's-
come from Oddstock.
Oh yeah, you do. It's that's soot in the river. It's soot.
That's
It's
soot.
soot.
No, it's soot.
It's soot.
Soot in the river.
Soot in the river, Ed.
Oh, good. That's a different accent.
Hey, fantastic.
Every time you try to do an accent, you always just do a Wisconsin accent.
That's the only one that matters, isn't it?
No.
I would say that
Other
it is.
cultures.
So they're gonna treat. So this Lif and Lifshar, they get a little shelter.
So, what's their names again?
Lif and Liftharzar.
Sure.
Le Frères.
The Thrush.
Whatever.
Oh, yeah, no.
They get shelter from the branches of Yugadarswil. Yugadarswil.
You got dollars as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then of course
yeah, it's all standard Icelandic stuff. Okay, excuse me. I could you bring me the?
I have a great Icelandic.
You mean your jacket?
My Icelandic. Oh, you want to give me my jacket? That's my Icelandic. I think that's a pretty good accent. The sky will fall into a pit of flames, and the earth will sink into the sea.
Okay.
Well, here's where Loki escapes from.
Oh, wait a
Odin-
second. How does the Earth sink into the sea if the Earth is a planet?
Well, I mean, I think Earth is more of just the land,
The land,
that we sit on.
not Midgard.
It
doesn't
Earth,
sink
Earth is
into,
what we stand on. Midgard is the planet.
Oh, I thought Midgard was. I just thought that was like America.
No, man.
Well,
There's
here's
a whole world around us.
Midgard.
yeah. Here's where Loki was sprung from. Odin tied Loki underneath the earth with snakes, and Loki's wife is compelled to put to gather snake venom in a bowl.
Fun.
And then walk and pour it into Loki's eyes.
Ah.
And whenever Loki thrashes from pain, that's where earthquakes come from.
Interesting.
Wow.
That
Yeah,
makes a lot
yeah.
more sense than just like plate shifting.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's the trickster god underneath getting his eyes poured fucking snake venom.
That means
pulling on
that
his snake chains. Can
Somebody
you imagine
probably
that?
did that to their son at some point. Where he's shaking like an earthquake, and then someone's like, "Absolutely, that's how earthquakes happen."
Yeah. Tie him up with snakes. That's what I say.
tell you
Why
that-
use rope? Don't use a
cares?
rope. Oh, yeah, using that ladder made out of fucking stupid ropes? How about you take those ropes, make them snakes, then use it
Snake
as a
'em.
ladder?
That's adorable.
Norse mythology is fucking great. They have this Bible called the Poetic Edda, which is all just like these poems about, Norse mythology and all that. Funny as hell.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
I love it. I wish that was the church I went to.
Yeah, Norse mythology is by far my favorite mythology.
Do they still like actively worship that? Because I know Ragnar, he dips
Our buddy
into, like,
Ragnar,
hermetic.
who's from Iceland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He talks a like this.
Iceland.
Well, here's what happened to the Norse religion. is around 800 or 900 A.D. The Christians came in, the Christian missionaries came in,
As
and
they do.
destroyed the churches, burned down the altars and all that. And
Well, that must have been a scary church to walk into.
Yeah, well, what they would do is they would go to the villages over on the shores, and they would bury the elders up to their necks, right next to the ocean, and make all of the citizens watch the tide come in and watch them slowly drown to death, and then say, like, so who wants to be a Christian now?
It's like, everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah. That's like the movie Creepshow.
Yeah,
That happens to, was it Ted Danson? Did Ted Danson in that? When he's a sweet seaweed monster?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're talking about.
Creepshow.
Yeah.
Creepshow, based on Norse mythology.
Yeah. Ted Danson. Cheers is also based on Norse mythology. That's the thing, is that Woody Harrelson is a Loki type. Rhea Perlman is like a Rhea Perlman type. There's really nothing. You can't copy
She's
that
having
woman.
sex with DeVito all day long.
Oh, can you imagine that?
I love imagining that. But that's exactly what the movie Black Death is as well. Have you seen the new film Black Death?
No, I haven't.
It's all about the plague, and everybody, of course, thinks the plague is caused because no one prayed hard enough, and there's horrors about.
Yeah.
And so they get to this land that the plague doesn't exist in. By the way, I'm gonna ruin the end of the movie for you here. Well, it's just going to happen. So they go to this place. They're like, oh, there's a witch about, because there's this one little place far out of town that's just gorgeous, and they're prospering, and everything's fantastic.
Yeah, so burn it to the ground.
Well,
Yeah.
they get there, and they're like, all right, we're going to see, and everyone's very, very kind, and the witch is pulling stunts and trying to pretending like she's bringing people back there, so they have to denounce religion, and to denounce religion, they all get put into this little coop, and then they kill one of them, by tearing them apart with the horses. And
Okay.
then they,
Drawn and quartered.
Yeah, exactly. Just fantastically. And then, but of course they did not do it. And then it turns out when the guy gets torn apart by the horses, she looks and she realizes that he has some sores on his chest, and he says, it's the end for all of us now. We're all going to die. And he just gave him the plague. The whole point of the story is so simple. She wasn't a witch, and the only reason the town was safe was simply
No
because
one had it. Yeah.
It was isolated.
Yeah.
So they just brought the plague to him, and it was a gorgeous
Then
way to do it.
look at through time. How many times have people thought that the world was just about to end? That's happened a bunch of times
Oh,
now.
man. Been happening for forever.
As soon as
I think
people
it's
realize that there was more than just you, like more than
Right.
just outside of your own head, like they've always imagined that it was just about to end.
And I think it's just I think what happens is everyone that I know that thinks the world is going to end has never done anything with their lives.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a way to rationalize you not needing. It's like, oh, your riches aren't here on earth. This isn't where the prize is, but it's like this is where the prize is.
We talk about all the time, and
Get
that's
some money and get a car so you can get that chick with the sweet silicone tates and be buried in it.
Well, it's absolutely just like you can't have fun. You got to. That's the whole thing where people are. They
But this
just
is
put
fun
off
for them.
everything that they enjoy into what they say they'll do in the afterlife.
Can you
because you're supposed to
imagine
live this austere life
how-
like that. Like any real loving God would want you to do that. Which is I just refuse to believe it's true.
Can you imagine how cocky and egotistical those meetings must have been with all those May 21st Herald camping followers?
Yeah.
Those people. We're trying to save them. We're
Yeah.
giving them the pamphlets. I put billboards all over town. They're not listening.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, they're going to feel pretty bad on May 21st at 6 p.m., aren't they?
Right,
It's like,
that's the thing,
fuck
is
you, man. You don't know anything.
Can an 11th hour conversion to Jesus get you raptured? How can that be possible?
No, because the thing about when it actually would happen, it happens so quickly, theoretically, that you wouldn't even have time.
No, but up until then, the days before,
yeah.
you really just want people to just jump on the Jesus wagon
That's
just so
why-
they will get raptured? How does that work?
That's why Jeffrey Dahmer, every serial killer, converts to Christianity.
Yeah.
They all think that saves them somehow, which is why I hate the religion, pretty much all of them. It doesn't erase the fact that you killed and mutilated 30 people. It's like you're just as bad now as you were then, and they're so funny because they're like, Jesus forgave me. And it's
It's even worse.
nether
because
region of your mind forgave
You're
you.
somehow validating everything that you did by saying at some point you could just jump on the salvation train and it's fine. Seems like you should be living some sort of like devoted life to God if you were allowed to be on the fucking heaven bus. Get on that old heaven elevator.
Janis Joplin is on the heaven bus. Maybe not. Maybe not. Is that it? Maybe not. Janice, yeah, where everyone's there. All right. Well, I guess that's pretty much all for the end of the world at this point. I think we're all going to agree if we could go back in time, wish for one of these end of the worlds, it would be the Norse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They got it right.
What would you do, real quick, sum up your last day on Earth if you knew that the end of times were coming?
Oh, my God. I mean, probably just sleep in a little bit. Fuck taking a shower.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
not.
for sure.
Don't waste that time.
I don't know. I like
said-
a good shower, though.
Yeah, I mean, you want to have sex. You want to have sex with that person you've always want to have sex with. So I think on the round table we were talking about rape, just a lot of that.
Yeah.
And just pillage. Just go to CVS and pillage.
Yeah.
Eat whatever you want, which is like CVS Cheetos.
Well,
go to a Thai
technically, that's what I
restaurant.
already do.
Right. Yeah, pretty much just that.
Yeah.
I'd pretty much just do what you do every day.
Yeah.
So that would be mine. I mean, how about yourself?
I don't know, wake up, eat a steak.
Gotta
eat a steak in the
yeah.
morning. Watch Ghostbusters. Probably watch Ghostbusters at least once.
I hope you have enough time.
I'd choose it.
Okay.
I'd choose that time. I'd watch that, and I'd probably, do cocaine once.
Oh, so many drugs.
I would just do whatever.
Oh,
yeah.
Probably do every single drug that I've ever
I'd
wanted
wait
to
for
do.
the really hard stuff until the nighttime. Because I'd still want my penis to function.
Right.
Yeah, start texting away.
You're just going to start texting?
Just text.
Saying goodbye.
Yeah.
Hello.
Buy a new suit.
Oh, yeah. You probably
That'd be
steal a
fun.
new suit.
Get a big hat.
I do love, these people that were going out.
Big hat. Yeah.
All they did, they maxed
One of
out
those
all their
foam
credit
fingers.
cards. Didn't they just break, a cardinal rule of gluttony?
Yeah.
And, just wasting your money?
They're entirely wrong.
Yeah, I
It
don't
doesn't matter. They're just completely, totally wrong.
They're goofy, though.
I'd go to Six Flags. Six Flags would also be a lot of fun the last day.
Which Six Flags, though?
Jersey. It's close.
Nah, I guess it would be the closest one.
I want to go to Six Flags if I wasn't getting abducted into the sky by some random being, though. No lines on the rides.
Nothing.
It would be pretty
It'd be
fantastic.
pretty fantastic.
I'd be filling a lot of balloons up with water in those squirt gun competitions, winning every one, which is pretty awesome.
What would you do?
First of all, shit ton of ecstasy.
Yeah.
I'm going out with a smile, man. A shit ton of ecstasy. Grab a couple of ladies. Well, probably I could get one lady, I think. But
Get one.
I could get one lady, and pretty much I would say spend all day in bed, fucking eating, and probably watching something, watching a movie or something like that. Like maybe watch Eraserhead.
That's because I just chose the one movie I'd want to watch.
Yeah.
Right before I died.
Yeah. I'd say, maybe a Eraserhead or Airplane would also
Yeah,
be really good.
that's a good one. Yeah.
Like naked with a girl, fucking about every 15 minutes staring Airplane on ecstasy.
It's going to be so hard to get weed, though, in that week before. Because
Oh, it's
everyone's
gonna
going to be
dry
buying
out.
weed. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it'd be a great deal, great time for drug dealers. That's for damn sure. And that's what matters the most. All right, this has been Last Podcast on the Left. For Henry Zabrowski, Marcus Parks, I am Ben Kissel. I'm very happy to have you guys still listening. The world is not over.
Yep.
So let's pray that it doesn't happen next week.
Listen every time, and the world will not end.
That's correct. So we will listen. We will talk to you next week. I am looking forward to it.
As am I.